Warning: this short presentation reveals a controversial new female mind control technique and may be offensive to women, minors, and closed-minded men. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hi, I'm Tom, and I'm about to show you a short video that will blow your mind. But I have to warn you, this video was leaked from a celebrity's private files. In fact, she's in the video. You'll watch a doctor prime her for sex in just minutes. She gets visibly turned on, her face gets that horny red blush, and she begins to touch herself. The funny thing is that this doctor is short, he's not very good looking, and he's as boring as, well, a doctor. But he turns her on with a brand new secret he discovered. And wow, does she ever get horny for him. And after I learned the secret from this video, I had sex with 4 new women. In a week. No dating, no games, no nonsense. How? Well, this video taught me the secret to making women super horny. So horny that they try to kiss me, touch me, and have sex with me, and I never have to risk any rejection. It's like Viagra for women. It's just as easy as yawning. And it primes their bodies for sex. They get so turned on that they can't help but make a move on me. Now listen, the celebrity in this short video is living in Malaysia at the moment, so I've blocked it from being played there. Still, I know she has a pit bull lawyer, and I can't risk a lawsuit, so if you leave now, do not expect to catch it again. But as fun as it is to see a minor celebrity get turned on, it's a lot more fun to use this secret on a woman you want. Whether it's a girl you see at the bar or walking down the street, or a friend who's driving you crazy. It's pretty awesome when you see her get that horny red blush in her face, and you know that she's sexually primed and about to make a move on you. So trust me, you want to stick around and watch this video and learn how to use this secret on the woman you want. After I saw this video and learned the simple secret, I was skeptical. Then I tried it on a random girl at a bar, just casually during a Thursday happy hour. I suspected it was priming her when she told me that my mole on my face was so cute. I was pretty sure it was priming her when she started turning beet red, although I have to admit, it's weird the first time it happens. But I was damn sure it had primed her when she stopped me mid-sentence, leaned over to my ear, and gave me a wet whisper to say, "Do you live around here?" So as you can probably guess, my fear of talking to beautiful women vanished when I started using this secret. And I finally landed the girl who'd been flirting with me, giving me hugs, and telling me, let's just be friends. But one more warning. This is a secret that some women do not want you to know. Which is why a few small groups of them are trying to have this video banned. Like this activist who was quoted as saying, "In today's progressive society, it's a step back to give men this much power." What she's really saying is no man has the right to prime a woman's sexual desires. And honestly, I just feel bad for her. Because after years and years of hopeless failures with women trying to date the traditional way, I've come to realize that women crave sex just as much as men. They have some of the craziest sexual fantasies. And they're terribly disappointed when men take them on dates and buy them dinner, but don't know how to turn them on. So look, I understand why this secret would make some people nervous or offended, but I've found that women love it when a man understands how to turn them on. And if you don't know this secret, and don't know how to make a woman horny, well, I hope someone invents a time machine and takes you back to the 1950s, because that's the last time that a traditional date worked. So for the next few minutes, I'm going to expose all of the women are just fine without men feminists who've taken over the mainstream media. And I'm going to spit in the face of all those relationship gurus and the frauds who've been sabotaging our sex lives, preventing us from getting laid, and telling us that our natural sexual desires are wrong or bad. The secret I'm about to reveal was discovered by a controversial doctor in Singapore. And the reason that it's causing such a stir is because it primes a woman's natural sexual desires and impulses, the same sexual desires that society has made women repress for so long. Think of it as Viagra for women. You use it, and a few minutes later, no matter what her mind is thinking, her body is getting ready for sex. So, some of the "we're fine without men" feminists are now trying to claim that this secret is dangerous and can have serious effects on a woman's sexual decision-making abilities. But these are the same women who have been trying to bash on men for the last 20 years. So as long as you're a good guy who's sick of all the bullshit and games of traditional dating, I'm willing to share this secret with you. I first learned about this secret after meeting my mentor, Dr. David Tan. He's a doctor who studied in the United States, then moved to Singapore for a cushy university job. He's Asian, about 5'6", but when I saw what this man could do with women, and what women desperately wanted to do with this man, I knew I needed to learn his secret. The reason I sought David out is because of, well, a suicidal moment. You see, I always thought I was a good guy. My folks raised me to work hard and respect women, and I believed that I'd land a great girl if I was a nice guy. And you know what? I did get lucky from time to time. I had 2 drunken hookups in college and 1 girlfriend who lasted for 4 months. But man, I never felt like I was in control or like I knew what was going on with women. And after college, I just couldn't get the dating game right. I'd always get a date or 2 in, then the girls would get frosty with me. I thought maybe it was my career. These days, I know that it doesn't matter, but for years, I was ashamed how poor I was. I was a waiter in college, then after graduation, I worked at an Apple store. But retail kind of blows, so after 5 years, I thought I'd try my hand as an Uber driver. One day, I saw a drive request come in from Lauren. Her pic looked cute in the Uber app. When I pulled up to her destination, I saw a girl that looked like her, but damn, she was even better in person. Natural blonde hair, tall and just a little curvy. A sure 9 out of 10 in my book. As she approached my car, I noticed tears in her eyes. She got into the back seat, apologized for crying, then blurted out that she'd just been dumped. So, of course, I made a dumb joke. Something like, wow, you either need a puppy or a stiff drink. But her face lit up, and she asked if I wanted to get a drink. Well, a few hours later, we were so drunk that we called an Uber to take us home together. We cuddled that night. It was my first time in bed with a woman in years. And even though I knew I was her rebound cuddle, I couldn't help but feel excited the next day. And while I'd never take advantage of a drunk girl, man, I wish I'd known that sexual priming secret you're about to see. We could have skipped drinks and gone straight back to her place. But hey, take what you can get, right? And what really made me feel good was when she called me later that day. We talked for hours and we really connected. Over the next few weeks, Lauren and I kept talking and seeing each other. And I thought that she was starting to like me. She responded to my texts in minutes. She'd give me a big, warm hug every time she saw me. And she let me pay for lunches we'd have and other little stuff like ice cream. I even got her some sunglasses one day. I figured that I must be making progress if she was letting me spend money on her. I loved that she trusted me to take care of her. It made me feel important and appreciated. So it was pretty special when she asked me to watch her chihuahua while she had a girls' night out. When I arrived, she was still getting ready, and she actually came to the living room in her underwear to say hi. I couldn't believe it. And damn, she looked so sexy in her lacy black dress and heels when she left the house. She even gave me a kiss on the cheeks and this electric look in the eyes, and she said, "I'll be back around 10 tonight. See you in a few hours." I could barely contain myself while she was gone. It was like blissful torture, thinking of her coming back to see me after a few drinks. I had even picked a Brazilian jazz Pandora station so we could dance together. I was so sure that this would be the night. But when I hadn't heard from her by 10:30, I started to get nervous. She finally sent me a text around 11 and told me that dinner had become drinks and that she'd be out for a while. I'd already waited 3 long hours, and now I was supposed to wait longer? Thinking about her in that sexy outfit, drinking with friends, and maybe flirting with other guys. I needed to distract myself, so I put her dog in the kennel, turned on my Uber app, and hit the road to pick up some rides. But I couldn't stop thinking about Lauren. I was so in my head. I barely talked to my first 4 passengers. I sent Lauren some WhatsApp messages to say, "Hope you're having a good night," and then don't do anything I wouldn't do, but her phone was off. That wasn't a good sign. By the time that my 5th ride booked me, I could barely think straight. I pulled up to the club where I'd been hailed, one of those fancy velvet rope clubs I wasn't cool enough to get in. There was a big line in front, and as I was scanning the crowd for my passenger, I saw something that really set me off. There was a couple making out furiously right in line. His back was facing the car, so I couldn't see the girl at first, but then I noticed that his hand was groping her breast. A breast that was covered with black lace. The same black lace dress that I'd seen Lauren in. And then I saw her face. It was Lauren. That lying, teasing, making out with him while he groped her in public. I wasn't even paying attention to the road anymore. And then a violent punch to the face, loud noises, and everything went black. I came to my senses moments later. My head was resting on a half-inflated airbag. I looked up and realized that I'd hit the car in front of me, and that I'd been hit from behind as well. It all happened so fast. I soon realized that everyone in line was staring at me. And then, as if the nightmare couldn't get any worse, Lauren and I locked eyes through the broken glass of the passenger window. I've never seen a look like she gave me. She ran over to the car. I could see the fear in her eyes. "Oh my God, Tom, are you okay?" she asked. I picked up my head and didn't feel any real pain. It took me a moment, but I summoned a smile for her and said, "Yeah, I think so. You're out late." Wow, was that the wrong thing to say? She erupted in anger. She told me it was none of my business how late she was out. She accused me of stalking her, of being a total creep who couldn't get the hint. I knew she was drunk, but damn, did her words hurt. And of course, the next hour was a mess. Cops, tow trucks, ambulances, and hostile looks from everyone standing in line at the club. Lauren left with that guy right after yelling at me. I kept trying to message her, but her phone was off the whole night. I never felt so sick in my life. Needless to say, I don't drive for Uber anymore. But what really messed me up was how Lauren treated me. She was the one girl who I'd fallen for in years. And now she wouldn't even talk to me. I mean, I'd never had anyone teach me what women wanted. So when I started getting positive signs from Lauren, I thought I was finally getting it right. But as I was texting Lauren that night, hoping against hope that she'd even see one of my messages and take pity on me, I began to feel so dumb. And after that incident, I started to resent and distrust women. I thought that they must have something wrong with them for falling for the wrong guys. And you know what? I was right. It shocked me when Dr. Tan revealed the reason that women like Lauren have sex and fall in love with the wrong men. And I'll tell you what he told me in just a second. In fact, when you understand this, you'll have an unfair advantage over all the other guys who think that dating today is the same as it was in the 1950s. See, if you're anything like I was, then you've tried doing traditional dating. You know, you try to meet a bunch of women, take some of them out on dates, and hope that one of them likes you. Well, my confidence was pretty shaken after Lauren, and I didn't even want to go out to bars. So I signed up for some online dating sites, and man, it's so much work. Sending out messages, getting their number, texting them, trying to make them laugh and like you, spending money on dates, looking for signs, and wondering when she's ready for a kiss. It's a freaking nightmare. And worst of all the money I was paying. I didn't even like most of these women, and the ones I did like, didn't like me back. It got to a point where for about a year, I just gave up. I stopped trying and spent most of my days watching movies and playing video games. And my lonely nights were mostly spent with net porn. Until one night, I saw my face in the reflection of my computer monitor. Pale, sunken, depressed. And it finally struck me. I was addicted to porn. I hadn't talked to a real woman in a month. Lauren was the last girl who I'd even cuddled with. I'm ashamed to say it, but in that moment, I thought about suicide. And then I thought, I know I'm not the only one who's been here. And honestly, I didn't even care about chicks right then. I just wanted to find a support group or some dudes to talk to. I found a porn recovery website and joined their forum. Deep in one of their threads, there was a positive comment about a guy named Dr. David Tan. He was a dating advice coach, so I was immediately skeptical. In the past, I'd gotten scammed out of hundreds of hard-earned dollars buying shitty pickup products by so-called seduction experts. These guys would promise the world, but their products always sucked. But David had an interesting story. He'd been in an unhappy, sexless marriage, almost as depressed as I was, when he decided to take control of his life. And he was an actual doctor, too. He had a bunch of press, and all of his articles were grounded in psychology. I thought, maybe, just maybe, this guy is legit. So I joined his email list, and yeah, the material was good. But I knew I needed more than a few articles or tips. I needed something foolproof. A step-by-step system that I couldn't mess up. Well, 3 weeks later, David sent out an email announcing that he was holding an exclusive, closed-door seminar in Hollywood, where for the first time ever, he planned on unveiling a brand new dating system to 15 guys willing to shell out $5,000. He called it Desire, and claimed it was simple but revolutionary, different from anything else out there, and worked to make a girl desire you, to put the moves on you close to 100% of the time. You'll see video footage of it in action in just a minute. So I said, screw it. Even though that's more money than I make in 4 months, I'll just put it on the Capital One card. After all, he was offering a full refund if the system wasn't everything he claimed and more. When I got to Los Angeles, I was the first guy to arrive at Dr. David's Hollywood Hills pad. So I was lucky enough to get a little alone time with him. He was filming a coaching video for some of his private clients. There were hot girls everywhere just hanging out while he talked into the camera like they weren't even there. As David casually greeted me, I looked at the guy in awe. I'd never seen anything like this before, so I asked him flat out what his secret was. And he didn't talk about pickup lines, he didn't talk about good looks or fashion, he talked about cold, hard neuroscience that penetrates a woman's emotions. And he taught me a secret based on a brand new psychological discovery called mirror neurons. A secret that makes almost any woman horny on command and causes her to hit on you in just moments. Because Dr. David's research proved that your emotions, even your most powerful emotions like horniness, desire, and love, can be made contagious, like the words of a song you just can't get off your mind. And women have known this for years, even if they don't know the science behind it. It's why when a panel of young women on the internet were asked, "Is being horny contagious?" they said things like, "Yes, knowing he's horny makes me horny, and people can tell when I'm horny because I'm such a good girl." Another woman said, "There's never really a moment when I'm not horny." And a third said, "Hell yes, it turns me on and I give in." But still, when David told me all this, I didn't believe it at first. Then he yawned, and of course, I yawned back. Think about it. Have you ever found yourself yawning, only to have every other person around you start to open their mouth and just let out a big yawn? You probably have. And maybe you even felt like yawning when I yawned. That's because yawning is a trigger. It triggers a predictable response in other people, sleepiness and yawning back. How? Well, it's all because of these mirror neurons you've been hearing about. I'm no doctor, so I'll keep it real simple. If you ever felt sad around someone else who's sad, that's because of mirror neurons. If you ever wanted to smile when you caught someone smiling at you, that's because of mirror neurons. And if you've ever been scared when you've seen fear in someone else's face, yep, that's mirror neurons. Mirror neurons are how humans share emotions and feelings. Get this, scientists even know where mirror neurons are located in the brain. It's called the amygdala. And humans who have brain damage in that specific area don't feel emotions. In fact, they don't even yawn when everyone else is. Scientists have known about mirror neurons for a decade. But it took a rogue genius like Dr. David to figure out how guys like you and I could use them to have more sex, more fun, and less frustration. Imagine yourself in front of that girl you like. And just to show yourself this isn't BS, you let out a big yawn. And you watch as within seconds, she starts opening her mouth. Her eyes moisten and she yawns back. Then you use David's secret and notice her eyes turning into bedroom eyes that begin to start scanning your body up and down, and the conversation switches from polite chat to a juicy flirtation, boiling over with sexual tension. And when she starts touching you, complimenting you, and suggesting you hang out someplace more private, it suddenly hits you. This girl wants sex. Now. Well, that's exactly what David's secret does. It uses the power of mirror neurons to sexually prime her. It's kind of like Viagra for her. And if you've ever tried Viagra, you know how horny you get and how bad you want to have sex. That's exactly what happens to her when you use this secret, and her desire begins to overflow, compelling her to make a move on you. But that's not all. When Dr. David began experimenting with this secret, he discovered something else. And this is where it gets really exciting for ordinary guys like you and me. You see, society has conditioned women to be careful about who they have sex with. And while most guys feel good about scoring another notch on the bedpost, women often feel bad about having sex with too many guys. So when they do have sex with a guy, it's a big deal. It's an even bigger deal when it happens fast. They tell themselves, wow, there's something different about this guy. They want to convince themselves that it's not a mistake, that they weren't dumb or wrong. So as long as you know how to play it, they do all the work. They text you, they call you, they want to go out on dates. Heck, they pay for dates. And yes, they want to keep having sex with you because they don't want the shame of having a one-night stand. This is exactly why women hold out on nice guys. They know that they can have sex with a nice guy anytime they want. I mean, let's face it. Lauren knew I wanted her, but they'll chase the jerks and the assholes who know how to excite them and turn them on. And once they've had sex with these guys, they just keep coming back for more. Is it unfair? Of course it is. But you didn't make the rules and neither did I. Society made these silly rules and up until now, they worked against the good guys. Yet when you have the power to sexually prime a woman, when she wants sex so bad that she puts the moves on you, when you've had incredible sex with her, and when you're in complete control, who cares what the rules are? Just treat your women well. Don't be an asshole and we'll be cool. Listen, When David revealed his entire system to me and 15 other guys that weekend, I was awestruck and practically jumping out of my seat to go try it on girls. In fact, we did try it on the second night, and 13 out of 15 guys had a one-night stand with the girl they met at the bars and clubs we went to. So I want you to hear from some of the other guys who were there with me, then I'll show you his secret. I'm 5'4" and 245 pounds, so I thought this technique wouldn't work for a guy like me. I was a virgin and I thought I was too short and too fat. But now, I'm a believer. In my first month, I slept with 9 girls, including the girl I've had a crush on since high school. Thanks, David. Ashwin K. Even though I'm the last person who would try something like this normally, I obviously had to give this a try when I was invited to the seminar. The night after I got home, I used the trick to get a girl who'd been driving me crazy for years. She had told me she just wanted to be friends, but now after 2 weeks, we've got each other stored in our iPhones as send text when horny. She loves it, and you better believe that I love it too. Edward A. I was skeptical at first that this might be a ripoff. This trick seems too good to be true, but I'm willing to try new things, so I tried it. And boy, am I glad I did. I couldn't get over my ex-girlfriend, but after using this, she came after me hard and demanded sex from me, and she hasn't stopped calling my phone since. I'm sleeping with 3 different girls who are all young and hot, so I'm gonna wait it out before I decide whether to take her back or not. But anyways, I just wanted to write in and say, this works. Tim P. There are dozens more success stories like these, but what about my results? Well, after I learned the secret, it felt like I had superpowers with women. Actually, it felt kind of dangerous. At one point, I had lunch with Lauren, who I definitely didn't want to date after how bad she broke my heart. But you know, I decided to try it on her, just to see if it'd work on a girl who used to think I was a creep. I waited until we were done with lunch. I didn't want anything weird to happen while we were eating. So there we were, standing on the sidewalk saying goodbye, and I started using the secret. Within about 30 seconds, I could see her getting that horny red blush in her face. She asked me if I could give her a ride home, for old time's sake. And what she did to me in the car, holy shit, man, I almost drove off the road. Dr. David's secret can sexually prime just about any woman. So when you use it, you have to be careful. Seriously, don't use it around your mom. I remember the week after I got back from Dr. David's seminar. I was in line at Starbucks and I saw an exotic-looking Latin girl who was 2 full inches taller than me. I'm only 5'7", and this kind of girl I couldn't have even made eye contact with just a few weeks ago. 22 years old, long tan legs, perfect body, and dark red lipstick that made her face just glow. But I didn't feel scared because with Dr. David's system, I knew exactly what I had to do. And instead of begging for her attention or approval like I would have in the past, I confidently walked up to her, said a few things about the coffee, used the secret, and then she started moving closer and closer to me. It was like I was a magnet, slowly pulling her in. After about a minute, I could see her getting that horny red blush and twirling her hair, which David taught me means she definitely is interested. And what totally blew me away is when she asked me what I was doing that night. And after she asked me for my number, we made some dinner plans. At dinner, I followed Dr. David's step-by-step system, and to my surprise, this Latin bombshell, whose name was Luciana, was actually complimenting me on things I used to be insecure about. Girls used to get disgusted when they looked at the dark brown mole on my left cheek, but this chick couldn't stop talking about how cute it was. My weight, my age, all that stuff that I thought was holding me back before actually turned into a positive. And 2 hours later, Luciana was in my bed screaming in pleasure as I used some advanced sexual techniques that Dr. David taught me. And I have to tell you, even though my neighbors probably didn't get much sleep that night, for me, it was the best night of my life up to that point. And she told me that I'd fulfilled a fantasy that she'd had since being a teenager, that the way I'd seduced and turned her on and pleasured her made her feel like she was in a romance novel, that she'd always wanted it, but that no man had ever done that before. Well, let me tell you, when I heard that, I finally felt like a man again. For the first time ever, I was in control of my sex life, which is exactly how you're going to feel when you start using this. All in all, within the first 6 months of using Dr. David's method, I slept with 49 new women. And the best part is how incredibly easy it was. I used it on a few hot female friends, 2 girls at work, waitresses, bartenders and cashiers, and random girls I met on the streets or at bars. I just used the secret, and within minutes, I'd noticed that she was getting that horny red blush, and soon, she'd make the first move on me. But David didn't just teach me how to turn women on. David taught me everything, how women think, and what turns their bodies on, before their minds even know what's going on. How to approach women, and those first few words you need to say just to get things going. The secret is getting women turned on fast, and how to handle it so that you don't lose your cool when it's happening. What to do with girls who turned you down before, even girls like Lauren, who hated me after she thought I was stalking her, even how to use it on an ex-girlfriend. And of course, the step-by-step method that brings it all together and puts me in control of sex and relationships. And during the closed-door seminar in Los Angeles last year, David revealed this step-by-step system to me and 15 other guys. That's the good news, but I do have some bad news. Dr. David only ran this seminar once, and no matter how hard guys have begged, he's not going to run it again. But here's the great news. Dr. David recorded the conference. After a lot of pushing and prodding by me, he has reluctantly agreed to release a very small number of this seminar to the public. He calls it the Desire System, the only scientifically proven system that sexually primes a woman and causes her to start hitting on you. It was personally designed by Dr. David and is guaranteed to make any innocent interaction with a girl into a steamy, sweaty sexual encounter. It takes any woman you want from not giving a damn about you, thinking she's too good for you, or totally unaware of your existence, to sexually primed and ready to go. At which point, you get to decide whether you want to get down and dirty then and there, or if you want to let the sexual tension grow like I did with Luciana. Best of all, it's easy, because you're harnessing the power of mirror neurons to sexually prime her, and it's different from any product or system out there right now. Trust me, I tried other seduction systems before I met David, and they all claimed to be so simple. Just ask a girl a few questions, figure out what kind of girl she is, and then stealthily seduce her while no one's looking. These dudes always make it sound so easy. But my problem is, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I could never make any of these so-called simple systems work. I knew there was something else to it. And when I was first introduced to the psychology of mirror neurons and Dr. David's Desire System, the crazy thing was that it really was that simple. Because unlike anything else out there, it operates below the radar. It focuses 100% on how she feels, which, as you probably figured out by now, is the key to heart and her body. Because with the Desire System, her whole body is telling her to go for you, even before her mind catches up. So it really is that simple. It had to be, so a guy like me could sleep with 49 women with it. And you know, even Dr. David wasn't always the ladies' man he is today. Far from it, actually. He was trapped in an unhappy religious marriage where he felt guilt for even trying to have sex with his wife. And when they got divorced, he experienced intense shame. He felt like a failure and swore off dating. He buried himself in his books and shut himself off from the world. But then, he stumbled upon the secrets of mirror neurons during his PhD research. He began to test this system in his college town with great success, but he wanted to see if it would work elsewhere. That summer, David decided to travel for his PhD and ended up sleeping with over 30 jaw-dropping women in less than 2 months. The local newspapers even wrote a story when they caught wind of it. He seduced celebrities and actresses I can't name for privacy reasons. And now David has left the university and operates the largest dating academy in Asia, the Aura Academy. But you won't learn the Desire System there because Singapore's strict laws simply won't allow it. So he's not teaching it in person anymore. To anyone. Even so, you won't find a dating coach more sought after than Dr. David. The only way you could get his private time is to join his $25,000 mastermind, which books up to 6 months in advance. I'm going to start David's demonstration right now as I tell you what you'll be learning in the Desire System and why it's going to work for you too. David will teach you the one controversial secret that sexually primes a woman and gives you complete control over her horniness. How to covertly compel a woman to make the first move on you. When you use this, she'll think sex was her idea. And because she's the one desperately trying to win you over, don't be surprised if you get hundreds of dollars worth of free dinners and drinks out of this move alone. Tommy D sent David a message about this technique saying, "Man, did this technique work good. The game is so much easier when she moves in on you first." The single biggest mistake that guys make to turn women off. It's based on brand new psychological research, and if you can't get past first dates with women, then you're definitely making this mistake. a secret method that makes women who blew you off before want to get down on the spot. When you use this one on your ex, it sparks all of the desire that she ever felt towards you. It makes her feel like you've grown as a man, and she'll beg you to make love to her and take her back. David's sneaky but ethical method for blasting out of the friend zone and ending up in the fuck zone. And fair warning, if a girl hasn't had sex in a few weeks or more, she can get really aggressively horny. If you plan to use this one on a friend who isn't dating anyone else, you should definitely have a condom in your wallet. In less than 2 minutes, you can induce a full-body arousal sexual state in any girl. David will show you exactly how. Bailey G wrote in about this. Now this is the ace up my sleeve for getting her turned on sexually. It works like a charm, and the technique alone has gotten me over 25 hookups in the past 8 months. How 3 simple sentences will help her break free of society's sexual conditioning and unleash the ravenous sexual animal inside of her. These 3 sentences are crucial if you ever want her to live out the fantasy of sex in a public place like a bathroom or a park. If a girl ever challenges you or gets rude, you'll laugh. Then do this one thing and she'll immediately apologize and insist on making it up too. First with drinks, then in bed. The pink elephant technique, it's a secret way to slip sexual phrases into conversations beneath her logical brain and gets her fantasizing about you with 0 risk. So when she's sitting at home bored and by herself, the first thing that jumps into her mind is how great it would be to score with you right then and there. How to use simple eye contact to give her that horny red blush and get her primed in 7 seconds or less. Adam V said this of the technique. My favorite part is the eye-to-eye attraction, because what's coming out of your mouth is irrelevant. The technique takes the pressure off, and women always want it after I use it. 3 deadly arousal sins. You must avoid these at all costs if you want to get more than a polite nice to meet you from her. How to release the sexual urges of even the most conservative girls and have sex with them on the exact same night. And a sexual move that will have her crying your name the entire time. And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
So how did that feel? Was it creepy at all? How does it feel from your perspective?
Well, that was working. I felt like we
Cool.
were in our own little bubble.
Yeah, the bubble. Like then everything kind of fades away. So it's sort of like this whole little our own world.
And I almost needed to go to the ladies.
Oh, okay. Well, we can take a break now.
So what can you realistically expect when you use the Desire system? Well, right after you use it, the girl will appear calm. And for about 20 seconds, you'll wonder if it's working or not. Then, you'll watch as her eyes begin to get wider and she gets that horny red blush. She'll start rubbing her thighs together, stroking her hair, and unconsciously touching herself lightly, right above the breasts. From there, only one of 2 things can happen. 1, she'll make the first move on you 99% of the time. If it's nighttime, she'll gently start touching you and whispering in your ear that she'd like to move to a more private location. If it's daytime, and you're not in a place where she can corner you and kiss you, she'll aggressively try to make plans to hang out the first night she's free. Or, in rare cases, if she's extremely shy, she may not openly hit on you, but she'll still make it stupid obvious that she's turned on and ready to go. And in the Desire system, Dr. David shows you how easy it is to make a shy girl let loose and practically beg you for sex. He shows you the brain-dead simple moves you need to make, no lines to memorize, no fancy routines, that give you the power to get these shy girls to open up to you and live out their craziest sexual fantasies with you. And unlike all of those times in the past when you felt like she held all the cards, you'll now have complete control of the relationship because she wants it to be real, which is great if you eventually want to make her your girlfriend or even your wife. And if you decide that's not what you want with her, Dr. David will even tell you how to let her down like a gentleman. So right now, I bet you have a few questions about the Desire system. How much does it cost? Are my results guaranteed? And most importantly, how the hell do I get my hands on it? Well, we'll get to all that in a second. But first, I want to make it absolutely clear who the Desire system is not for. Because of the nature of this discovery, David is only releasing it to a limited number of guys. So if you're the kind of person who's going to watch David's videos but never actually use it, then please excuse yourself right now. And because of the advanced psychological techniques in the program, we simply don't want this in the hands of guys who will use it to harm women. This system is only for guys who are serious about taking action and using it for good. Still with me? Good. Now, you already know that I paid over $5,000 to learn Dr. David's system in person, not to mention travel and hotel costs. His services are obviously not cheap. And you know what else isn't cheap? Paying for dates, dinners, drinks, and gifts for women. That stuff adds up to thousands of dollars for most guys. So what do you think would be a fair price to finally take control back from women, start having as much sex as you can handle, and avoid wasting time, money, and pain on girls that aren't even worth it? What's it worth to be able to make any woman horny and have the power to have sex with almost any woman you want in mere hours or minutes? $2,000? $1,000? Most men would consider $597 an absolute fair price for this power, especially with the bonuses David's going to give you. But that's not what you're paying right now. You're not even paying half of that. You won't even pay $147. For today only, the first 500 guys who take action will get David's entire Desire system filmed in state-of-the-art HD video and hosted online so you can start watching it right now for the one-time low price of only $67 by clicking the orange Next Step button below this video. Break that down over the next 2 months, and it comes out to $1.10 per day. That's roughly the price of a can of soda, but there's no soft drink in the world that will get you laid and give you the power to turn on any woman you want. And I have to tell you, you're pretty lucky you stumbled upon this page when you did. I don't have to tell you that things aren't very man-friendly these days in the mainstream media. So Dr. David was extremely reluctant to even allow me to produce this video. But as you can tell, it changed my life. And I'm pretty damn excited about it. His compromise was that he would only release 500 copies, a test release to see how quickly I could sell them without any mainstream media noticing. The media follows David relentlessly, and he's just not willing to risk the squeaky clean reputation of his Aura Academy, the world's largest dating academy, if the liberal media rips him to shreds. Which is why, once the 500th copy is sold, David is closing sales on Desire for at least another 3 months to see how the world takes it before he even considers letting it out of the bag again. So if you're watching this right now, congratulations! There's space left, and there's exactly 1 spot reserved for you. Your spot will be reserved for the next 15 minutes. And if you don't act now and click the button below this video, your spot will be passed on to the next lucky guy. I took out ads everywhere I could on the internet. I believe in Dr. David and the Desire system, and this announcement is going out to hundreds of thousands of men like you. So do not hesitate on this, and you can make your purchase with confidence, because David is fully guaranteeing your satisfaction for 60 days. That's right, you can test drive his breakthrough system for a full 2 months. If you aren't sleeping with new girls every week, if you don't somehow have sex with that one girl you've had your eye on for months or years, heck, even if you don't like the way David's face looks, just shoot David an email or call his toll-free phone number, and you'll promptly receive a full refund. But let's be honest, that probably isn't going to happen. Dr. David's Desire system has a shocking success rate. And as bad as I was, I highly doubt that you'd be an exception. And because I put so much work into getting Dr. David to release it, he agreed that we should hook you up with some bonus programs to reward you for taking action today. First, you'll get Friends into Lovers. In this seminar, you get an easy step-by-step formula for turning your female friends into lustful lovers. And trust me, if a girl has ever told you, let's just be friends, then you want this proven formula. Dr. David used to sell this single lecture for $197, but today you get it for free. Next, you'll get the Complete Confidence Hypnosis. Now, David isn't a hypnotist, but he found a great one who produced this course. After listening to this short, relaxing audio MP3 about 5 times, in your sleep or at your convenience, your confidence will immediately rival the world's top seducers. Because this revolutionary new audio program uses the power of suggestion to completely rewire your brain and obliterate any limiting beliefs or insecurities that have been holding you back with women. The audio does all the work for you. No drills, exercises, or affirmations. Just complete and utter confidence with women. Ryan Yu had this to say about Complete Confidence Hypnosis. Ryan: Hey David, I just saw the bonuses you included with the program. I didn't even notice them until a month ago. What an awesome surprise. They're a perfect complement to what I learned in the system. I especially dug the Complete Confidence Hypnosis. This was a key part of my transformation into a ladies' man. It was super easy to just pop some earphones in and listen to it before bed. After about a week, I could feel it making a difference when I walk into a bar these days. I swear, I'm giving off an aura. Girls can sense it and I know I've got it. And it's true. Getting laid is a lot easier when you're confident. This stuff isn't rocket science when you know this stuff. Your lessons will last a lifetime. You're also getting access to the Endless Conversation course, previously sold for $97, yours today for free. This is the easy system that guarantees you'll never run out of things to say, so women will be hanging on your every sentence. And you'll have loads of ammo to keep any conversation going for as long as you want. Also, for signing up today, you're eligible for a 14-day trial to David's Way of the Rake coaching course. In this, you'll learn the same advanced techniques that David's full-time students learn at the Aura Academy when they sign on for monthly coaching. If you like it, you'll have the option to keep going for $67 a month. And I went through the whole thing, but you can cancel out of it anytime for any reason. And all of this is free when you click the button below this video. I thought Dr. David was nuts to give these bonuses away, yet he insisted on including them with your purchase today, which means you now get 4 amazing life-changing bonuses with your purchase, a value of well over $300, completely free of charge. It's David's way of saying thank you to the 500 men who are joining him today. Just click the button below this video, claim your risk-free e-voucher on the next page, and lock in your spot. The time is now. You're about to get access to the only step-by-step system that allows you to sexually prime a woman, so she pursues you like a heat-seeking missile locked onto its target, and gives you complete control of the relationship. But listen, man, time is ticking. You already know that this video won't be up for long. So if you want this breakthrough system, then you must act now. Click the button below the video. Start using the system tonight, and wake up tomorrow next to a truly breathtaking woman, nestled in your sheets, and as she wakes up, you discover that she's turned on and ready to go again. Here's what's going to happen when you click the button below. You'll immediately be taken to David's risk-free e-voucher, which will reserve you one of the 500 spots for 5 minutes until it expires. You then fill out the simple form, enter your payment information, and you can feel completely confident that your private data is secure and safe with Dr. David, because he's encrypted the checkout page with the latest 256-bit encryption software, which guarantees your purchase is safe, private, and secure, and means nobody will know about your purchase except you and David. So lock in your spot now. Enter your email address and click the button below. Fill out the easy and secure form and get instant access. And what if you have questions along the way? With your purchase, you get access to a private discussion forum where you'll get support and assistance from other men just like you who are experts at the Desire system, so they can help you every step along the way. And it all starts right now when you click the button below and complete your purchase. So right now you have a simple choice. Option 1, the risky choice, where you do nothing, let this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity pass you by, and give up your spot to the next guy in line, and let him have the girls you want. Live in hope, risk having a miserable sex life for years to come, and harsh as it sounds, risk dying sexless, sad, and alone. On that dark night, alone with my porn in front of my computer, that's what I thought my future held. But I've since slept with 49 women, and I'm currently in an awesome relationship with the girl of my dreams. That's because I said yes when David gave me the option to learn his system. And that leads us to option 2, the right choice. Risk nothing. Click the button below this video and get Desire for just $67 right now, and dive into the only scientifically proven system that makes any woman horny on command. Which means your girl, the one you've been wanting for so long, is about to end up in your bed. And you risk nothing because your results are guaranteed. So if you use the system and for some reason aren't getting laid like a rock star, or if you don't finally have sex with that one girl you've been wanting for ages, David will promptly refund your entire purchase. So listen closely. This is not a time for hesitation. It's a time for action. The clock is ticking down, and you have a short few minutes to turn your sex life around. And look, if you haven't claimed your spot yet, you're probably on the fence, and that's completely fine. But I've got a very important question that I want you to ask yourself right now. What's it worth to never have to wonder things like, does she like me? Will she call me back? What can I do to make her want me? How am I going to meet new women? Am I going to rely on porn forever? Should I get a mail-order bride? Because you have the ultimate control. You know the easy, effortless way to prime a woman for sex. You make her feel so good that she gets that horny red blush in her face. To get her so horny that she practically forces herself upon you. To make her leap into your bed like a woman possessed. What's that worth? $3,000? I've already told you that some men have paid much more than that to learn this system. Maybe $1,000? $500? I promise you, every man who's on the inside, the men who knew this system, would tell you the system is worth at least 10 times that amount. But you're not even going to pay half of that. Not even 20% of that. For today only, you're getting the entire system and 4 bonuses jam-packed with everything you could possibly need to sleep with pretty much any girl for only $67 risk-free. Even if you think you're a lost cause with women, trust me, you're not. And if you're like most guys, you'll soon be saying that today's small investment was the best investment you ever made, because the Desire system will change your life. And remember, the risk is all on David's side of the court. He's offering an ironclad guarantee. You've got a full 2 months to test drive his wickedly effective system and return it for a full refund if it doesn't work for you. Your privacy is guaranteed. Your billing is discreet and confidential. You won't get any embarrassing packages at your door because it's all delivered online. So, I've got to run. And it looks like your reserved spot is about to expire. But I'll leave you with this. The 4 most important reasons why you need to act right now and click the button below. 1. There's only 500 spots available. It's first come, first serve. 2. Your satisfaction is guaranteed 100%. 3. There are literally millions of women waiting for a guy like you to sweep them off their feet. 4. There's probably a girl in your life who is just dying for you to stop being a wuss, to turn her on and to rock her world. Heck, with David's 60-day guarantee, you could buy it now to secure your spot and not even start watching for a month. But I know you want to start having more sex a lot sooner than that. And it all starts now, the instant you click the button below and complete your order. So let's do this. Now is the time to act and turn your life around. Still here? Okay, well, I can't guarantee that the cart will hold your spot for a lot longer, but let's talk man-to-man for a sec. Because let's face it, this is the internet. You've never met me, and maybe you haven't seen any of Dr. David's media. And of course, there are some pretty bold promises here. I mean, when I first heard about it, I thought it was bullshit. Something out of a science fiction novel. So you might have some questions, and I want to take a moment to answer those. First of all, does it really work? Well, yes. I wouldn't be so excited about it if it didn't. And it really is as easy as I describe it. But you do have to do it in person. The Desire system uses mirror neurons to transfer feelings and emotions, not words. That's why Dr. David is including the 5-step text and sexual texting bonuses, so you can easily get face-to-face with a woman to use the Desire system. Next, why is Dr. David qualified to teach this? Let's run through the list, shall we? David graduated with a PhD from one of the top 30 universities in the world, ranked by US News and World Report. He then held a teaching position at the top-ranked university in Asia, so you can trust that he's smart, disciplined, and knows how to do research. Then, after he left the university, David started the Aura Dating Academy. This is a school for men who live in Singapore, the first of its kind anywhere in the world, where he experiments with new techniques and training on classes of hundreds of men. He and his team of trainers find what works best to help these men become more confident and get better results with women. David has endless media accolades. He's been a featured expert on countless shows in Asia. But what made me believe in him was how much he used to struggle. As David's first mentor tells it, David was a dorky grad student with terrible fashion sense who couldn't even make direct eye contact with the girls who he taught. His wife was in complete control of their relationship, and he stumbled over his words whenever he'd meet new people. David is truly a zero to hero, and he's done the research and has the training to deliver on what he promises. So the next question is how quickly this will work if there's a woman in mind. Well, you've already heard me tell you about what happened with Lauren. It can happen just that fast. I've heard from other guys in the private members community as well with similar stories. A few guys have said that they were nervous about using it, So there's one thing I recommend if there's a girl who you really wanted to work with. Practice. Go to the bar or the coffee shop or wherever and try it on a few other girls first. Get a feel for it. Be on the lookout for that horny red blush and see how you respond when women make the first move on you. Honestly, if it's never happened to you before, it's pretty shocking, and I don't want you to lose your cool with the girl you really want. But once it's happened a few times, and especially if you decide to have sex with one or two of the girls when you're practicing, you're going to be surging with confidence when you finally use it on that one girl who you really want. Next question, does David accept PayPal or cash or checks? And the answer is no, not now. A lot of work has gone into the security of his order processing system, and because this is a limited time trial, he can't wait for checks or cash to roll in through the mail. If you have any difficulties ordering though, you'll find a number and an email address on the next page. Like everything David does, he approaches customer support with the highest degree of professionalism, so you can expect to get someone on the phone when you call, and they'll be happy to help you if you're having any troubles. Finally, how about the guarantee? Is it really guaranteed? Listen, you've never met Dr. David, and it'd be sweet if you could meet him face to face, look him in the eye, shake his hand, and feel more confident about making this purchase. I know he'd love to do that, but he asked me to help him run this test because he's busy with his clients at the Aura Academy and in his mastermind. And he's humble and doesn't like to sell himself. That's why he asked me to record this video. I knew it'd be even stronger if it came from him, so, in exchange, I did insist on the great guarantee. He thought 30 days was fair. That's pretty common wherever you go. But I pushed him to be more generous and double that. And listen, he wants good guys to learn this material. So once he heard my logic, he agreed. Now, on the off chance that you want to take up David on his guarantee, it's really simple. Just send him an email or call the 800 number. Those are both on the email receipt you get when you buy the product, and they're both right there in the private community. He has 7 people running his online support desk, 5 in Texas, 1 in California, and 1 in the Philippines for overnight support. He wanted to make sure that everyone spoke English as a first language, and he doesn't call them customer service people, but rather customer happiness reps, because their primary job is to make guys like you happy. So listen, man, I hope this answers most of your big questions. I'm going to sign off now, and I just really appreciate you joining me all the way here to the end. I hope you got the information you need to feel confident about buying this course and knowing that it's going to work for you. Go ahead and click that big orange button below, and I'm really hoping that I'll see you on the inside.